After weeks of politicians holding campaign rallies, it was finally time for Mogadishu's residents to choose who should lead their city. More than 500,000 people registered to vote. Many of them started queuing before sunrise.
It's the first time that I'm taking part in an election. I came here at 5 in the morning because I don't want leaders appointed for me anymore. I want to elect my leaders, leaders who are accountable to us.
Mogadishu has not held direct elections for more than half a century. Military rule, civil war, and decades of instability robbed generations of a say in how their city was governed. Those who remember the last vote say they didn't believe they would live to see another.
Last time I voted was in the 1960s. I hope this one brings change.
But the elections have not been without controversy. Opposition parties boycotted the process, accusing the government of staging a sham, a claim authorities deny. Security was tightened across the capital. Major roads closed, people searched, and thousands of police officers deployed. Voters could choose from more than 1,600 candidates to fill the 390 seats. Those elected will inherit many challenges, including poor public services, corruption, and the threat of attacks by the armed group Al-Shabaab. For a city long defined by what it lost, the vote represented something Mogadishu has been fighting to reclaim, its voice. Hamza Mohammed, Al Jazeera.
And indeed, Hamza is with me right now in the studio. He has extensively reported from Somalia. So 60 years since the last one-person, one-vote election. Why so long? I'm sure the turmoil in that country has not been lasting that long.
Well, to appreciate how unique and important these elections are, you just have to look at the number of candidates who are competing for seats. There are more than 1,600. And according to the Electoral Commission, at least 92% of them are under the age of 50, which means they were not even born the last time an election was held in Mogadishu. And there are some few reasons for that. You have to look at the 1969 military coup, which banned general elections and political parties. The military government held power in Somalia for more than 20 years. And then in the 1990s, there was a civil war that went on for 20 years. After that, there was the issue of Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda-linked armed group, which was fighting the government in Mogadishu. These are just some of the reasons. And the armed group was pushed out of Mogadishu in 2011. There were 3 presidents who have held power since, but they appear not to be interested in holding election. And there's a reason for that. Mogadishu is the center of the government. That's the economic hub. If they do hold one-man, one-vote elections in Somalia, there's a risk that they might not hold on to Mogadishu, which means that they might not hold on to power. So these are some of the reasons, but it appears the page is slowly turning and people are going out to vote today.
But again, not everyone is happy. I mean, including, I suppose, some of these candidates you've just been talking about, not happy with these elections at all.
Yeah. For example, the opposition are staying away from the elections. They're accusing the government of meddling in the process. They say the Electoral Commission is in the pockets of the government, especially the president. These are accusations the president denies. And then there's also the issue of Al-Shabaab. This is an armed group that controls significant parts of South and Central Somalia. They've been warning the candidates, they've been warning the voters to stay away from it. But the government has responded. They have flooded the streets of Mogadishu with at least 10,000 security personnel. And there's less than 2 hours to go before polls close. And it appears everything is going smoothly so far.
OK, so Hamza, this also begs the question, because if memory serves me, doesn't the president's term end in just a few months from now? The thing is, will they extend this democratic experiment further here?
That's correct, Rishad. He's got about 5 months left to go. Since he came to office about 4 years ago, he's been promising general elections, free and fair elections, but it appears this will not be possible. And to do that, he needs to register voters across the country, which hasn't happened. He needs to secure ballot boxes, which hasn't happened. Large parts of the country are not in the control of the government, they're in control of Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab are not interested in politics. The one thing that they're interested in is overthrowing the government. Somalia is a federal state. At least 2 members of the 2 regions of the country made it very clear that elections will not be held in territories that they control. They say this is a plot by the president to extend his term in office by promising something that he knows he cannot deliver.
Hamza, thank you very much. Hamza Mohammed there, looking at the situation in Somalia.